especially what is AI doing to our industry. So we have this vision of Tublian operating system that some of you probably already know. You have probably seen that in our landing page. We talk about that a lot. What we essentially doing, if you remove all the buzzwords, essentially we're building a collection of AI agents. So think of them as and today you're going to see one of those members. A collection of AI agents. The purpose of this AI agents is they will work as a team. They will talk to each other. When we introduce Biz Dev Agent will be talking to Dev Agent so they can communicate with each other. The objective here is that down the line, you will be able to tap onto this team to augment your capabilities. We have this grand vision of that. I believe in we say that a lot when we talk to investors, obviously, that is what takes a team to build today will be done by an individual in the future. What that means is, some of you said you are a full stack developer, some of you said a front-end developer. What we really want to do with this collection of agents is that give you more time to focus on more creative stuff, because that's how we have to differentiate in this world, right? And able to offload some of the boring tasks that you really don't want to do or you're not passionate about to this group of agents. So this will be like on-demand AI workforce that you can hire, you can rent, you can work with, that will help you to win more project, build more project, and scale your business. So DevAgent is the first step one to the series of agents that we're going to be releasing in next few months. And I'm super excited to hear some of the feedbacks that you guys have about this. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm ready. Um, okay, before I share my screen, New, thank you for the intro and your objective and your dream, your vision about the dev agents and a lot of cool stuff that um, we still have or you still have in mind to do. Okay, I'll share my screen now. Everyone, please, I urge you to pay attention. TOS Dev Agent has been around for about 3 weeks, as Precious said earlier. For most of us, we might, we might have heard the word Tublian Dev Agent, the cool stuff, the futures. You just talked about them, but we might not know exactly how to use or use the tool for our own advantage yet. So that is what we'll be doing together today. We'll be seeing how we can use the tool for our advantage. So I'll be sharing my screen now. Please, if you can see my screen, just give me reaction so that I can. All right, thank you, Papa Lola. Thank you, Elizabeth. All right, so as a user, of Tublian, this page is the page that it talks elaborately about the Dev AI agents. So when you come here, this is the documentation page where you get to know it, what it can do for you, and how you can, the things you would need to set it up, and also how you can set it up. One of the things I love so much about Tublian DevAgent, because I've been using it for a while now, is how you can give AI agents some tasks, assign some tasks to it, and then you just continue with some other works while, you just leave it to handle it independently on its own, while you just check back some time later, some minutes later, to maybe see if it's done or maybe it needs some clarification. So, yeah. So as we have in the documentation, it's AI assistant that analyzes your code base. It does not just give high level code. It's actually it will go through your code base. It will see where the necessary area where it needs to come in, and it's going to like come in at the appropriate place, fix your bugs and resolve issues. Any issue, any projects, external project, internal project, and the likes. And Tublian is so grateful that Tublian has given all users free access to this AI agent. It's something that is, really exciting. So you don't really have to break the bank before you run it, before you know how it works. Yeah. And one important thing to know is that to use this agents, you need to have Docker running on your machine, on your computer, Docker version from 20.10.10 upward. And yeah, you have to have Docker running. And when you have Docker running, then yeah, then you are good to go with the setup. Now, before I move further, for some of us, or for some of you, this is not how this page will look for you. I want to urge us, if you have access to your computer, you can just quickly go to this route, TOS/docs. For some of us, we have a banner here. I don't know, maybe I can give Precious maybe some seconds so that it can show that. So you are having that banner here. The banner has Tublian DevAgent logo, and it has a button that says get started. So the button takes you to the documentation, and while you are seeing that, yeah, Precious sends the link to the chat, everyone, so you can access that. Why you have that banner is to take you to docs, and you are seeing that banner because you've not yet, used the project to DevAgent to work on a project. So when you use DevAgent to work on a project, you start seeing this button, which has both the dashboard and the documentation on it. So here's the documentation. The dashboard will show you the projects that you've been working on. So when you click on the get started, because I've used the agents to work on some projects, so I've already agreed to the terms and conditions. So I'm assuming that for some of you, you might not have accepted the terms and conditions. So I want you to go ahead. Everyone, I want you to go ahead, accept the terms and conditions. And after you've done that, you have access to the keys that you'll be using to activate or spin up your Tublian DevAgent. So click on accept the terms and condition, and after that you have these keys show for you. So if you are not seeing these keys on your screen, just know that it's because you've not accepted this terms and condition yet. Yeah, so this key is like, what gives you the main access. Without the keys, you actually can't use the product. So let's quickly go through the setup, and we'll be going through it one after the other in a practical manner, so that we can all, get how it works. So the first step, I already have Docker version. I already have Docker running on my machine. So I'm settled about that. So the first step is you create a working directory. Working directory is just like it's a folder. You're creating folder. So okay, we take it one step after the other. So now I will go to my terminal. I will choose a suitable location and create a working directory or a folder where agents, we more like house all the projects that you'll be assigning it to. See that working directly that you will create as a space for your DevAI agent assistant. So I'll come here. I want to make the directory in here. So I'll make directory. I'll call it, let me just call it work directory. So when I check the this folder now, I should have it work directory. So let's come back here. So the next step says you should create TOS file in that working directory. So it is inside this TOS file that the keys here will go into, your agent ID and your agent key will go into. So the next step, I'll go into my terminal. I'll go into the work directory that I've chosen and created for Tublian DevAgent, and I'll create the .tos file by doing this. Oh, sorry, Vim. So this will cloud. I'll just copy it here, paste it in the content inside the TOS file. It's going to output the agent key and ID. So we are sure that on the right, we are good to go. Right. So after doing that, the next step is downloading the DevAgent. It's just launch scripts here. So everybody, if you are following along, click on the download button. I've already downloaded mine. So I have it downloaded on my local machine already. Just let me see the part where I downloaded it. Okay, so I have it here. So when you download your Tublian AI agent, it's going to download as a folder. Okay, let me just download it again to. Okay, so when you click on download, you see this. It downloads as a folder, zipped folder. You will unzip it, and after unzipping it, you are going to see something like this. It comes with two files, launchagent.bat, launchagent.sh. So you come back to the documentation to see the one that is appropriate for you. So if you are working on a Windows, you use this command. Let's execute this command, and if you are running on Mac OS, you use this command. Now, before we get started to see it in action, it is important that because we're actually getting started now in the real thing, applying to real live issues and the likes. It is important that any project that you want your Dev AI agent to work on, it's important that you add Tublian engineer as a collaborator. What do I mean by that? You go to GitHub, open any project that you want it to work on, or you want more like you see the Tublian engineer as your assistant. So you have to rub minds together, collaborate together. So you come here, click on settings here, and collaborator here. Okay, just with this. All right. So I've already
I've already invited Tublian AI engineer as a collaborator to this project, but basically, if you haven't invited Tublian AI engineer, you just come here, type in Tublian AI engineer. As you type it, you're going to be seeing search results. So when you type it correctly, you can just click on it to send an invite, and the invitation will be accepted by Tublian AI engineer. And with that, that means that you are granting Tublian AI engineer if total control, 100% control over your project. That means that it can, make changes for you, even go as far as making pull requests for you. If you do not have AI engineer as a collaborator, the access to your project might be limited. It might not be able to make pull requests for you. It might only be able to make changes and just commit it locally. Or adding it as a collaborator that means that you are giving the AI to 100% control. It can do whatever it is that you can do by yourself for you. All right. So if you are following me so far, I want to be sure that I'm not alone in this. If you are following me so far, and if you are getting and enjoying this installation party, I want you to give me reactions, please. Give me a reaction. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So the main reason of adding, or another reason why you need to add this AI engineer to your project is so that it can have just rights permission. Yeah, it's not going to do beyond that, rights permission, so that it can have access to make pull requests. So back to where we stopped. Yeah, so we've created a .tos file. We've added our keys. We have downloaded. I have downloaded. The web page is not opening. Please if you want to access this tool also, this feature, so you need to have signed up with Tublian. So if you have not signed up with Tublian, do not hesitate to do that. Okay, so I've downloaded the script files, and I have the one that will run on my operating system. So the next instruction is I'm using Mac. So for Mac, you have to execute this command, launch agent.sh, then your working directory. What this working directory means is, you remember the parts where we created our work directory here. So that is basically what that working directory is referring to. It needs these parts, so that when you launch the script, you point it to, okay, agent, this is your space. This is where you need to do your work. So that is it. So I already printed the working directory here. I already printed it here. So I will go ahead now to launch it. Now, for some people, you might, run into issues running this command directly, sorry. While for some people, you might, run it and it works for you. So if you fall into the category where you have issue running this command, that means that you have to first make the script executable. My script is already executable, but let me just quickly show you how to do that. All you need to do is let me go into, okay, I'm inside the script folder. So you just do this. This is for those using Mac. So you do this, and then so this is what you need to do to launch it. So sorry, I made a typo here.
to make it executable. So you only have to do these once.
So after you've done it once, it will always, respond to you anytime you want to launch the script. So I've already done this. I will
just clear it off, and then to run it, we just do,
let's come back here.
okay, I will do this. Then you connect your the path to your work directory to it. Then
All right. So our Tublian DevAgent is up and running. Just we said here that if you see this screen, it means the dev agent is running successfully, and now we can see it. So that means that our dev agent is working and running successfully. All right, so going to the next step, when you successfully see this Tublian DevAgent design, we have some couple of command here. So we have add command, we have help command, we have quit. Add command is used when you want to add the project that you want your Tublian DevAgent to work on. You can add as many as you want. So we will be testing this with this repository. So what I need to do, Precious, you want to say something? Precious. Okay, I'll just continue. All right, so the first step, we want to add our project. To the URL, and of course we've already gotten that, so I'll just paste it here and then run it. So what the agent is doing now is that it is adding the repository, the projects, the files, and everything that will be needing to successfully work on the project when it has an issue. Now it's asking for build to. It has already figured out, okay, this is a Python. This project is using Python, so it's already selected it here. So what I will just do is to click enter or press enter, and then it's figured out the main build. It's figured it out that it is requirement.txt file, so I don't need to stress myself to type it out again. I will just press enter. Then for the verification type, I will just set it for default. If you want to, you can use linter. If you have linter your project and you want to use that to verify your project or test or custom, but for me, for this project, I'll be using default. So it's doing the process of adding your project. Okay, so while that is going on, if you are still with me, please could you react with emoji? Thank you, Chelvin. I can only see okay, thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you, Jordan. Okay. Yeah, thank you, Precious, for the input. All right, so we successfully added our project. Now we want to use the second command here, which is help. So we want to, finally we've added the project. We need our agent help on to do something for us on the project. So I created some issues here. I have some issues here that I've created, and I've actually been using the AI agent, to debug some things in this project. So for today's demo, let's use it to solve this particular error. I'm getting this error in the project, and I want the agent, my Tublian AI agent, personal assistant, to figure the issue out for me and solve it for me. So I'll copy the URL, then go back to my terminal. Then I will type and enter this command help. Now it's prompting me to enter the GitHub URL or describe my issue. You can either go to the route of describing your issue, but since I already have the GitHub URL to that issue, I will just drop it here and then allow. What I'll be doing now is I will allow my Tublian agent to figure it out. Just like I said the other time, Tublian AI agent is autonomous. It works independently. I can just leave it to figure out some other stuff while I leave this to it. So while it's thinking and analyzing the code base, seeing where the issue is, and seeing how the approach is that it can use to solve it, I would give the floor to Precious and Neil, so that if you have any questions so far, they can actually take your questions and answer, or we can do that together. Precious.
Yeah, so can I jump in? So you notice the log file, the screen is not that sexy, it's by design, because our objective was that you're going to be running this issue. My workflow typically is I have a terminal where this agent is loaded. Anytime I have somebody pings me to take a look at or fix an issue, but I don't have time, I give it to the agent. While agent is working on this, I switch to my VS Code or something else I'm working on, right? So it's just the scenes. That's why the interface is very terminal based. But the things that is going through that I'm really excited about is essentially the way I solve problem is how we design this agent. See, if you scroll up a little bit, Joy.
Okay.
So initially it's you see lead agent. So even if we do agent here, this is actually multiple agents working together. So there is a lead agent that takes the issue. That's what it's doing right now. It's trying to figure out the structure of the project. It could be Python project, it could be React project, it could be Next.js project, it could be a Java project, right? It's trying to figure out what's the structure of this project. It then figures out the architecture, which means is it a three-tier architecture? Does it have a front end? Does it have a back end? So it's doing all that stuff. Then it finally goes into summarize project. The way it does it is that if the project is large, the lead agent can spawn multiple developer agent underneath him to say, hey, this project has 3 modules. Maybe you go look at those separate modules separately. That's why this is not one-shot prompting that you typically see. You give a problem to ChatGPT gives you an answer. This is more like an agentic approach of it going step by step. So once it figures out the structure, then it's actually summarize the issue. So you're trying to understand what is really the issue. Then the determine app flow step, for an example, is now it's trying to figure out, okay, which files are affected by this? If you notice in Joy's example, I mean, she gave the file name in here. Some issues might not have a file name. She's saying main.py file, but is it main.py file? This issue might affect other files as well. So this agent is trying to figure that out, which all files are affected by this issue. So depending upon the size of the issue, it can take minutes to solve this, but that's what is going through right now, just to give you perspective.
Thank you, Neil.
Yep.
Well, my question, that I have for you guys, because I have used AI to do troubleshooting a lot of different error messages. As Precious told you, I came from Codex Academy, so a lot of the times the issue is not really straightforward. So using the outside AI app is how it was troubleshooted. This would basically replace that outside AI app and basically troubleshoot the issues with my code on its own by using the project to get correct.
Correct.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, so this is also a really good point. So this version, obviously, we ship it with a key, but what we want to do in the next release is that we're going to be opening up bring your own key model. So that way, some of you might be working on a circuit project and you don't want to use normal models, you want to use your own key, own model, then you'll have that flexibility too. So make it completely secure.
That was my next question, because one of my projects for my SaaS company is something private that I have not shared publicly with anybody besides my beta testers and my employees. Okay.
Yeah.
That means eventually y'all gonna have it to where we can market private to where it's not being shared with anybody outside of us, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So going through, just giving an update a little bit. So going through it, figured out the flow. Scroll down. It figured out the flow. Joy, please scroll down. Sorry.
Okay, sorry.
And then it's exploring the solution plan. How should I solve it? So we do have, I mean, this version that we release publicly uses one solver, but we have capability using multiple solvers. That means is that we can essentially A/B test solutions. We can solve a problem in 5 different ways. An agent can pick up whatever makes sense. So far, all it did is essentially understanding the problem and planning. We spent some amount of time doing that because that's very critical. Now, finally, it's actually going to code generation. You see the initial code generation. Now it's actually doing code generation. Every time we do generation, there is a QA agent built in. We validate the code quality. So the determined code quality is QA agent coming in and validating whether the solution that it created matches the problem. Then if that solution, that quality check passed, then we actually apply code changes. Apply code changes is where you actually going to see some files are updating in your local file system. So far, everything was happening in memory. Then it finally runs the verification. This could be combination of run all the unit test cases, could be combination of run integration tests, however way you want to validate. When all of those goes green, because sometimes it might fail, then the agent will automatically repeat the process. Let me fix the test, right? So it's going to loop through. In this case, it succeeded. Then it finally going to generate a pull request. In this case, it actually solved the problem. Joy, maybe you want to show the pull request it created.
All right. Let me refresh the page. I hope we are all still following along, and this is, I want to believe that this is the most, or one of the important moments. So yeah, here is the pull request is generated.
So it says 1 minute ago, so it generated now. One of the things that we do is in the pull request also. Sorry, maybe Joy, you should talk through this. Sorry.
Okay, so it generated a pull request and it gives a detailed review of what it did. So you just don't take the pull request blindly. It gives you the problem summary, the solution plan, like the plan that it's implemented, and also the implementation plan. And it's automatically, like Neil said earlier, that we have quick QA, something like quick Q and a tester that verify if the approach will work, if the approach of code is okay or is the best. So it will also run tests behind the scene to know if it's thoroughly solved the issue. So it says that all verification checks are passing and confirms that the changes effectively resolve the issue. So it's not just making blind pull requests for you, it's also like giving you more like the details of what it did. Now let's see the file that changed. Okay, so we have this file that changed. Yeah. All right, so the issue was, okay, so the issue was I was actually printing the wrong thing. There's no variable called shorten URL here, so it's figured that out and removed that from the code, and it's now printing the appropriate variable that can be found in the code, which is this short URL. Yeah, so that is it, and I'm excited about this, honestly. I want to believe that everyone is excited. You need to try it out yourself. You need to try this tool out yourself. Yeah, if you'll be trying this out using this tool, I want you to give me some reactions, please. Thank you, Bernard, Balola, thank you. All right, I'll be handing over to Precious, Neil, and me. If you have questions, I think Precious, if anyone has questions, you are free to ask. And Neil, if there's something that I've not said or that you can also chip that in.
So yeah, so this was sort of trivial, right? One line. It doesn't have to be one file change. It could be multiple file change. Couple of things I want to say is that if your project is configured to have unit test cases, automated tests, this agent will generate new automated tests. It has that capability. So if it's adding new file, it will add new test cases for that file as well. Now, sometimes we all make mistakes. Agents also make mistakes. I just want to be very fair. Sometimes the agent might get stuck. There are a couple of steps where it might ask for your attention. While during the planning phase, for an example, while you're running the planning phase, agent might get confused. It could happen for many reasons. Maybe the issue description is not clear. I mean, we humans are not really good at writing bug reports, unfortunately. So then it will ask you some clarifying questions. So I'm confused about this. Could you help me? That will all happen in terminal. So it will prompt for you. You can type in your answer in the terminal. Another time it might create a pull request, but the pull request might have some failing tests. It will try to fix it, but we have limits on how many times it could retry. I think it's 5 or 3. Let's say after 3 retries, agent still failed to fix the pull request. It will push the changes to the pull request, but it will, in the pull request description, it will say, sorry, some of the validation might have failed. In those cases, you could guide the agent. So in the pull request, like you provide any feedback, you can, Joy, if you want to share your screen again, show the pull request page. So this pull request is like any other pull request, right? So typically the workflow other teams follow when they use agent is part of their team. The lead developer of the team, the human developer of the team will review the pull request and can leave comments. So maybe the comment could be remove the println, print is not required, or comment could be, why do you make this change? This change doesn't make sense, or this is the reason tests are failing.
agent is capable of working with pull requests also. The URL where Joy pasted the URL, that URL can be also URL of a pull request. So you copy the pull request URL, paste it to the agent. Now agent will try to fix the pull request, if that makes sense. So the workflow is pretty simple. Just treat this agent like an intern in your team. That's the best way to think through this.
Okay, good day, sir. I sincerely appreciate. The problem is I joined the class late and I tried to install the agent. I'm getting that 404 error. So I don't know how to go about it. Yeah. I tried to log in, so it redirected me to GitHub. So on the authorization page, it couldn't. So it's showing me the error. For 2 billion, but no. It did not grant me access to that. It just wrote Tublian bot can't find Tubli bot sleeps, something like that. Okay, let me. Okay. Then, okay, no problem. Thank you.
Well, no, I don't, I don't have Docker in my computer yet because I was looking at automation test stuff for testing stuff. But I'm getting everything installed. I gotta start with Docker first because I never put it in here because I never knew that I was gonna eventually get it. So I know I installed it. So okay, yeah, that's essentially what I'm. That's like I told you, troubleshooting errors. A long way was using ChatGPT to troubleshoot error messages that weren't exactly being clear to me in application setup. But yeah, it's one of the fun parts of now I don't have to go to a separate one anymore. I have it in the computer and it's gonna test it automatically for me. Yeah.
No, I don't, but I'll go on with that immediately after this call.
Yeah, the first run will take some time, and we are working hard to reduce the footprint. Yeah, Docker needs to be there because the reason for using the Docker, that was probably the most sensible way for us to release something that will run on every environment, Windows, Mac, Linux. That's why you selected Docker. So first time be patient, it will probably download lots of stuff, but second time onwards, it will be really fast. I want to highlight a couple of things that we want to releasing next since we have this opportunity. Couple of things. So we are planning to speed up the agent process. It takes minutes, like it could take 2 minutes to 10 minutes to solve an issue. I mean, in large scale of thing, 10 minutes is not a big time, but we still want to reduce that time, so that is coming. Another thing we're doing is that lots of time you guys need control. Like your project might have different style. For an example, you could say anytime you're doing front end, make sure you're using Tailwind styling, right? Just to enforce. And I mean, like any models hallucinates, right? Sometimes they make mistakes. So we're introducing a new feature called project rules. So it's almost like cursor, if you guys use cursor. So if you add one YAML file in your project directory with set of instructions, so this gives you much finer control. Hey, when you are touching a front-end file, make sure always use Tailwind styling, for an example. So you can provide set of instructions. So that's coming. We call project rules. So when agent will be working on that project, I don't know whether it's helping at all. But anyway, so agent will be working on the project. The first thing the agent will look for is that rules file. If it finds a rules file, so it will pick it up. And that way you can kind of customize the agent behavior, if that makes sense. It will give you much better control in the way you want the code, the styling, the guides and stuff. So those are the two important features coming soon.
Will you guys be using a type of like user interface setup like Daisy UI in the future for the code the agent to be knowing which UI setup you're using? Besides, in some of my projects, I'm using Daisy and Tailwind because
so we just specify that in your code rules, in the project rules, that hey, use Daisy for this or Tailwind for this module, and it should try to follow those rules. We do have a. Sorry, go ahead.
I have it. Let me give an example. Okay, one of my businesses that I'm starting besides the SaaS is a coffee shop. I have the site already built. I just got to redo the back end stuff once I get through setting up all the database and stuff that I need to set up. It's written with Daisy UI and Tailwind for styling of the page and stuff like that. And I want to make sure that if it's checking my code, that it's not adjusting that stuff. Understand?
Yeah, totally. So do me a favor, Trisel, is there a way you can DM me? Because it sounds like an exciting project now to make sure that agent is successful for you. So DM me, I will give you a separate license key that might give you a much better control over this than the default version. Or here is my email address if you are not on our Discord channel. I'm pasting it on the. Maybe I shouldn't do that.
I just don't have it open on the computer right now because
That's okay.
Close the computer down when I got too much stuff running.
Here is my email address on the comment. Just shoot me an email.
Okay.
No, unfortunately, it's not open source. We have plans for it though. We have definitely plans for it. But Jordan, if you really want to contribute, I mean, we can find other ways to make it happen. So just ping me on Discord or email me. We use this agent, by the way, just last thing I'm going to say, I know time is important. You guys will let you. But one thing I would say that we dock with this agent. I've been actively using this agent to build other agents. So it's definitely part of my tool set. Only thing I would love from you guys is feedback. Give us concrete feedback. Tell us what we can do to make this agent better. I will really appreciate that.